What is today? Baba Marta is a deeply cherished Bulgarian tradition celebrated every year on March 1st. The name translates to Grandma March, a mythical figure believed to control the weather during early spring with her changeable moods. If she is happy, the weather becomes warm and sunny. If she is upset, cold winds and frost may return. This folklore reflects the unpredictability of the season and adds a sense of storytelling and personality to the transition from winter to spring. One of the most recognizable parts of the celebration is the exchange of martinitsa, which are red and white yarn ornaments worn on the wrist or attached to clothing. The red color symbolizes health, strength, and life, while white stands for purity and new beginnings. People give martinitsa to family, friends, and colleagues as a wish for health and prosperity. The martinitsa is worn until the wearer sees the first sign of spring, often a stork, swallow, or blossoming tree, after which it is tied to a tree branch to bring good luck and ensure a fruitful year. What is today? National Old Stuff Day, observed annually on March 2nd, is a lighthearted yet meaningful reminder to pause and reevaluate the old stuff in our lives, whether that means physical belongings, outdated habits, or long ignored tasks. The day encourages people to rediscover forgotten treasures, appreciate sentimental items, and also make space for something new by clearing away things that no longer serve them. This observance blends nostalgia with renewal, inviting individuals to approach their lives with fresh perspective and intention. At its core, the day is an opportunity for reflection and decluttering. While the exact origin of National Old Stuff Day remains unclear, it has evolved into a broader observance centered on self-improvement and mindful living. People are encouraged to finish postponed responsibilities, reorganize cluttered areas, refresh personal goals, and even let go of emotional old stuff, like lingering frustrations or unhelpful habits. This makes the day both practical and symbolic, emphasizing the importance of clearing mental and physical space for new growth and opportunities. What is today? Canadian Bacon Day is celebrated every year on March 3rd. It's a food-focused holiday dedicated to enjoying Canadian bacon, also known as back bacon or pea meal bacon, a lean pork loin cut that's distinctly different from traditional streaky bacon. The term Canadian bacon came about largely because of how the product was made, exported, and eventually rebranded, especially in the United States. Canadian bacon originated from 19th century preservation methods in Canada, where pork loin was cured and often rolled in ground yellow peas, known as pea meal bacon. It later became popular in the US, where it's commonly called Canadian bacon. During a pork shortage in the UK, Canada exported large quantities of this lean cured pork loin. Because it came from Canada, foreign markets began referring to it simply as Canadian bacon. In Canada, the product is still called back bacon or pea meal bacon, and the term Canadian bacon is rarely used, but in the US, the name became the standard term for this cured loin cut, round, lean bacon, distinct from American streaky bacon. What is today? National Dance the Waltz Day is celebrated every year on March 4th, a date chosen as a playful nod to March 4th, that's F-O-R-T-H, encouraging people to step forward onto the dance floor. The day honors the waltz, a historically rich ballroom dance known for its graceful 1-2-3 rhythm, flowing turns, and close partner connection. The earliest roots of the waltz traces back to 13th century Germany, where peasants performed lively folk dances involving rolling and gliding steps. These early forms, including dances like the Landler, laid the foundation for what would later become the waltz. By the late 1700s, the dance, now recognizable as the waltzer, emerged from rural Austria and Bavaria and moved into suburban Viennese dance halls. Conservative critics condemned the dance as indecent due to the close proximity of partners, yet this criticism only fueled its popularity, particularly among younger crowds. Despite early controversy, the waltz entered the courts of Europe during the Congress of Vienna, 1814 and 1815, where diplomats and aristocrats embraced the dance at lavish balls. This period played a pivotal role in launching the waltz on its international ascent. By the early 19th century, the dance had spread across Europe and to the United States. Composers such as Johann Strauss I, and especially Johann Strauss II, the Waltz King, elevated the dance through iconic compositions, most notably the Blue Danube, solidifying the waltz as a symbol of elegance and romance. By the mid-19th century in the United States, the waltz had become a fixture of social events and continues today as one of the most universally recognized ballroom dances. I don't know about you, but I'm terrible with names, and I think it should be a standard issue for everyone to wear these. What is today Name Tag Day is a celebratory occasion designed to encourage friendliness, openness, and human connection through one simple act, wearing a name tag. Observed on the Thursday of the first full week in March, the holiday aims to make social interactions easier by reducing the anonymity that often keeps people from engaging with one another. The observance was created in 1997 by American onomatology enthusiast Jerry Hill, who believed that names are a deeply personal part of identity and deserve more recognition in daily life. Hill founded Celebrate Your Name Week, and the Name Tag Day became one of its signature events. His idea was that simply displaying one's name could break down social barriers, reduce awkwardness, and stimulate genuine connections in both casual and professional settings. Name Tag Day is celebrated because it offers a gentle invitation to communicate. Seeing someone's name immediately makes them more approachable, fostering trust and familiarity. The holiday emphasizes that knowing and using names helps create a sense of belonging, whether among co-workers, neighbors, or strangers passing on the street. By encouraging participants to acknowledge and engage with the people around them, the day underscores the psychological importance of being recognized and addressed personally. What is today National Frozen Food Day is celebrated every year on March 6th to recognize the impact of the frozen food industry on nutrition, convenience, and modern life. The day highlights how freezing technology expanded food access, reduced waste, and made diverse foods available year-round. The observance was formally established in 1984 when President Ronald Reagan signed Proclamation 5157 recognizing the industry's contributions and officially designating March 6th as Frozen Food Day. The concept of preserving food by freezing is centuries old. Early civilizations used ice houses, cellars, and natural cold storage to keep fish, meat, and seasonal fruits from spoiling. These methods relied on environmental conditions rather than controlled technology. By the 19th century, mechanical refrigeration began to appear, laying the groundwork for more consistent cold storage. These innovations paved the way for controlled freezing techniques that would soon transform the food industry. Much of the frozen food industry's foundation rests on the work of Clarence Birdseye, who in the 1920s developed the quick freezing process that prevents large ice crystals from damaging food texture and quality. While in Labrador, Birdseye observed that fish frozen quickly in Arctic air retained superior texture when thawed. He deduced that rapid freezing, or flash freezing, prevents the formation of large ice crystals that damage food structure. Birdseye patented his first U.S. quick freezing process in 1927 and founded the Birdseye Company, establishing the commercial frozen food industry. By 1930, Birdseye's frozen products were sold in 18 retail stores in Massachusetts, marking the beginning of frozen food as a consumer commodity. During World War II, frozen food became increasingly popular due to rationing and household labor shortages, which made convenient, shelf-stable foods essential. Post-war economic growth and the spread of household freezers in the 1920s dramatically increased demand for frozen products. In 1954, Swanson introduced the first TV dinners, packaged in compartmentalized trays designed for oven heating. These quickly became a cultural staple, offering complete meals with minimal preparation. The accidental discovery of microwave cooking by Percy Spencer in 1945, later commercialized commercialized by Raytheon, revolutionized how consumers heated frozen foods. By the late 1970s and 1980s, as microwaves became common household appliances, frozen meals became even faster and more convenient, accelerating industry growth. Frozen food evolved from simple natural freezing methods to a technologically driven global industry. What is today National Cereal Day is an annual celebration observed every year on March 7th, dedicated to recognizing one of America's most iconic breakfast foods, cereal. It highlights cereal's long history, cultural significance, and the many ways people enjoy it today. Breakfast cereal began not as a sweet, colorful convenience food, but as a health reform product in the mid to late 19th century. During this period, many Americans ate heavy, meat-based breakfasts. Reformers believed this diet caused digestion problems and even moral decline, and they sought healthier grain-based alternatives. In 1863, Dr. James Celeb Jackson created granola, considered the first manufactured breakfast cereal. It was made of graham flour pressed into nuggets, but it was so hard it had to be soaked overnight before eating. Though impractical, this product introduced the idea of ready-made breakfast cereal. At Jackson's Sanitarium, one visitor, a Seventh-day Adventist, was inspired by granola and later influenced Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, who ran the Battle Creek Sanitarium. John Kellogg, committed to health reform diets, began creating various grain-based foods for patients. With his brother Will Kellogg, he developed the process that allowed wheat to flake rather than bake solid, leading to the invention of cornflakes. Another sanitarium visitor, Charles William Post, was inspired by Kellogg's products. By 1897, he introduced his own cereals, including Post Toasties and Grape Nuts, helping cement breakfast cereal as a mainstream American food category. By the early 1900s, ready-to-eat cereals were spreading across the U.S. and becoming an everyday breakfast option. Cereal's popularity grew rapidly as it offered a fast, convenient alternative to traditional cooked breakfasts. By the mid-20th century, cereal transformed again, this time through child-focused marketing, sweeter recipes, colorful branding, and the introduction of toy prizes inside the boxes. These trends embedded cereal deeply into the American childhood and popular culture, turning it into both a breakfast food and a cultural touchstone. In recent years, modern cereal trends have embraced health consciousness, emphasizing whole grains, reduced sugar, and natural ingredients, while also exploring new flavors, packaging improvements, and creative uses of cereal in snacks and recipes. Today, cereal remains a blend of nostalgia and innovation, continuing to evolve while retaining its iconic status.
I'd like the most popular home video game system ever.
The system you want is the Atari 2600.
That's so fast. I want a system that can play hundreds of games.
Then what you want is the Atari 2600.
But I'd like the system that can also play educational games for my children.
Then what you want is the Atari 2600.
Fine, but I want a real low price.
The Atari 2600 is priced incredibly low.
That's what I want.
The Atari 2600.
Now with its new exciting games at a new low price.
What is today? Today we're diving into National Retro Video Game Day, celebrated every year on March 8th. This day is all about honoring the classic eras of gaming, the consoles, the arcades, and the early designs that set the stage for everything we know today. National Retro Video Game Day is an annual celebration focused on revisiting the pixel-driven, chiptune-powered world of early gaming. It's a chance to remember the titles and experiences that defined entire generations. Games long before the age of high-definition consoles, photorealistic graphics, and online multiplayer. The date, March 8th, was chosen for a very specific reason. It's the birthday of Ralph H. Baer, born March 8th. Of 1922. Baer is widely recognized as the father of video games, thanks to his creation of the Magnavox Odyssey, the first commercial home video game console.
Magnavox presents Odyssey, the electronic game of the future. Odyssey easily attaches to any brand TV, black and white or color, to create a closed-circuit electronic playground. Odyssey gives you all the exciting action of hockey and 11 other challenging play and learning games for the entire family. Odyssey, a new dimension for your television, now at your Magnavox dealer. He's listed in the yellow pages.
Retro games are more than just nostalgia, they represent the foundation of modern game design, simple mechanics, tight controls, memorable characters, and creative gameplay that emerged despite limited hardware. These early constraints led to some of the most innovative and enduring gameplay loops ever created. National Retro Video Game Day is a reminder of how the industry began, from simple dots and lines to the massive entertainment powerhouse it is today. Whether you're replaying your favorite classics or discovering retro gems for the first time, March 8th is the perfect day to celebrate the games that started it all. What is today? National Dishwasher Day is celebrated every year on March 9th, honoring one of the most transformative household appliances in modern domestic life. The day recognizes how dishwashers have eliminated one of the most disliked household chores and brought convenience, time savings, and efficiency into millions of homes. Josephine Cochran patented the first practical mechanical dishwasher in 1886. She developed the machine after becoming frustrated that her fine china was frequently chipped during hand washing, and she unveiled her innovation to great acclaim at the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. While her device was initially adopted by hotels and restaurants due to cost, dishwashers didn't become household staples until the 1950s when home plumbing and electrical standards advanced. Celebrating National Dishwasher Day offers an opportunity to highlight the environmental and technological benefits of dishwashers. Modern machines are engineered to use significantly less water than hand washing, often cutting consumption by more than half. They also sanitize dishes using higher water temperatures that human hands cannot tolerate, improving household hygiene while reducing labor. National Dishwasher Day serves as a moment to appreciate both the innovation behind the appliance and the ongoing evolution of kitchen technology. From its origins as a luxury item in the late 19th century to its ubiquity in today's homes, the dishwasher symbolizes how engineering advances can dramatically improve everyday life. What is today? Every year on March 10th, the United States pauses to honor one of its greatest champions of freedom and justice, Harriet Tubman, a woman whose courage reshaped the story of this nation. March 10th marks the anniversary of her passing in 1913 in Auburn, New York. In 1990, the U.S. Congress established the holiday to recognize Tubman's heroic work in the struggle against slavery and the pursuit of human freedom. Born Araminta Minty Ross sometime between 1820 and 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland, Harriet Tubman endured the brutal conditions of slavery from childhood. After surviving a traumatic head injury and years of hardship, she escaped slavery in 1849, traveling nearly 90 miles to reach freedom in Pennsylvania. But freedom for herself wasn't enough. Over roughly a decade, she made around 13 trips back into slave-holding states, guiding about 70 enslaved people, mostly family and friends, to freedom via the Underground Railroad. Her remarkable success earned her a legendary nickname, Moses. During the Civil War, Tubman served the Union Army as a scout, nurse, and spy, even helping plan the Combahee River Raid, which freed more than 700 enslaved people in a single operation. Harriet Tubman's legacy extends far beyond the era of slavery. She spent her later life advocating for civil rights, women's suffrage, and care for the elderly. Her courage continues to inspire movements for justice and equality today, proof that one determined person can spark change across generations. What is today? National Funeral Director and Mortician Recognition Day is observed annually on March 11th to honor the compassionate professionals who support families during times of loss. These individuals guide people through funeral arrangements, help memorialize loved ones, and provide emotional support when it is needed most. Funeral practices are among humanity's oldest cultural behaviors. Evidence of ritualistic burial stretches back over 300,000 years, showing that early Homo sapiens carried out ceremonial acts when a loved one died. Egyptians developed some of the earliest formalized mortician-like roles. Specialized priests prepared bodies for elaborate tombs, reflecting beliefs about the afterlife and the need for preservation. In the 17th century, modern embalming techniques emerged, particularly through the work of Dr. Frederick Rusch, marking a major scientific leap into body preservation. By the 1800s, the role of the undertaker, a precursor to today's funeral director, became more established, particularly in Europe in the United States. Before the late 19th century, families often prepared bodies at home. From the 1900s to 1920s, funeral homes grew common in U.S. cities, reflecting urbanization and advances in medicine. This shift marks the true beginning of funeral directing as a formal business. Today's funeral directors and morticians typically earn at least an associate degree in mortuary science, complete 1 to 3 years of apprenticeship, and maintain a state license. Combine technical care for the deceased with emotional support for grieving families. Their work remains essential in helping communities honor the dead with dignity, cultural sensitivity, and professionalism. What is today? International School Meals Day is a global awareness event held each year on the second Thursday of March. The day brings attention to the crucial role that nutritious school meals play in supporting children's physical health, cognitive development, and overall ability to learn. It serves as a unifying movement for students, educators, policymakers, and communities, emphasizing that a healthy school meal is not only nourishment, but also a vital component of educational success. The first official celebration took place in March of 2013, coordinated by the non-profit organization Children in Scotland, with support from a growing network of global partners. Since its launch, the event has expanded significantly, now involving participants from more than 60 countries, and continues to grow as awareness of child nutrition and food insecurity increases worldwide. School Meals Day acts as a safety net for millions of children, ensuring at least one reliable, balanced meal each day, and essential support for families experiencing food insecurity. Beyond individual benefits, school meal programs strengthen local economies by partnering with nearby farmers, reduce environmental strain by shortening food supply chains, and encourage long-term healthy eating habits. By highlighting these interconnected systems, the day urges governments and communities to invest more deeply in universal access to nutritious school meals. What is today? National Coconut Torte Day is observed every year on March 13th, celebrating the rich, multi-layered dessert known as the coconut torte. The day highlights the unique qualities that distinguish a torte from a standard cake. Tortes are typically denser, often made with ground nuts or breadcrumbs instead of flour, and layered with decadent fillings such as cream, buttercream, jams, or ganache. Adding coconut enhances both texture and flavor, bringing a tropical dimension to a pastry rooted in European baking traditions. The history of the coconut torte reflects a blend of European confectionery techniques and the growing availability of coconut in Western markets during the 19th century. As shipping and processing improved, coconut transitioned from a rare luxury to a common ingredient in home baking. National Coconut Torte Day serves to celebrate both the dessert and the cultural exchange that brought coconut and tortes together. Celebrating National Coconut Torte Day encourages appreciation of the skill and artistry involved in crafting a torte's delicate layers without sacrificing structure or taste. What is today? Genius Day is celebrated every year on March 14th as a tribute to Albert Einstein, who was born on March 14th of 1879. It is an international observance honoring human intelligence, creativity, and innovation. Einstein earned his teaching diploma in mathematics and physics in 1901 from Zurich. He continued his education and research, ultimately completing his doctorate in 1905, a milestone year often referred to as his Annus Mirabilis because of the 4 groundbreaking papers he published. In 1905, Einstein provided the theory that made nuclear energy possible. E equals mc squared. Einstein's equation shows that mass can be converted into energy. This principle explains why splitting an atom nucleus releases enormous energy. The mass lost in the process becomes energy. In 1921, Einstein received the Nobel Prize in Physics for his contributions, particularly regarding the photoelectric effect. In 1933, while visiting the United States, Einstein realized he could no longer return to Germany due to the political climate and rising threats against Jewish scholars. He renounced his German citizenship at the German consulate in Belgium and remained in the US, where he worked actively to help displaced Jewish scientists. Einstein spent the rest of his life in the United States as a professor, including years at Princeton University, continuing research research, teaching, and advocacy. Albert Einstein passed away in 1955, leaving behind a transformative scientific legacy that permanently altered the course of physics and global thought.
Well, I woke up to go get me a cold pop, and then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, "Oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire." Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing, Jesus. I ran for my life. And then the smoke got me. I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
What is today? Dumbstruck Day is a lighthearted observance dedicated to those moments that leave us speechless, amazed, or stunned in the best way. Whether it's shocking news, an unexpected visit, or a small everyday wonder, the day encourages embracing surprise and pausing in awe. Dumbstruck is an adjective describing someone temporarily speechless due to extreme shock, astonishment, or amazement, originating from the concept of being struck dumb. This state often implies a sudden, intense emotional paralysis, such as being stunned by unexpected news or a surprising event. Dumbstruck Day celebrates the feeling of being so surprised that you momentarily can't speak. It's about acknowledging astonishment, fun, uplifting astonishment, not confusion or fear. What is today? National Artichoke Day is celebrated in the United States on March 16th each year. The day celebrates a thistle native to the Mediterranean that's been eaten for thousands of years. In the U.S., artichokes are closely associated with California, which produces nearly all of the country's commercial supply. The artichoke has been a prized food since ancient Greek and Roman times. The artichoke is filled with fiber, folate, vitamin C, and antioxidants. The artichoke, you can steam it, grill it, roast it, stuff it, or blend it into dips. The part we eat of the artichoke is the unopened flower bud. If the artichoke is allowed to bloom, they produce large purple flowers. Artichokes have been shown to support cardiovascular health in multiple ways. They contain compounds that help reduce cholesterol and total cholesterol levels. Clinic reviews have found that artichoke leaf extract can significantly lower cholesterol and triglycerides when taken consistently, which may reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke.
Hi, I'm Patrice Munsell, and I'm often asked, what are Campfire Girls all about? Well, in Campfire Girls, there are girls, and boys sometimes, and a mother, business girl, college girl, artist, all group leaders. And it's men on committees giving a hand. A lonely girl? Not for long in Campfire Girls. There's always a friend. And sponsors. A teacher, a minister, priest, rabbi, often lend support. What do Campfire Girls do? Well, you name it. And where? From California to New York, Alaska and Hawaii, all 50 states. That's Campfire Girls. Today's program for today's girl.
What is today? Campfire Girls Day is observed annually in the United States on March 17th. Campfire Girls Day commemorates the founding and legacy of Camp Fire, one of the oldest youth development organizations in the U.S., originally established as Campfire Girls of America in 1910 and formally incorporated in March of 1912. The organization was created to give girls opportunities for leadership, outdoor learning, and character development at a time when such programs were rare. Campfire Girls was founded by Dr. Luther Halsey Gulick and his wife Charlotte Vetter Gulick, who believed that girls deserved the same opportunities for outdoor adventure, leadership, and character development that boys had through scouting programs at the time. Their vision helped create one of the first non-sectarian, multicultural youth organizations in the United States, built around the core values of work, health, and love. The organization is now known simply as Campfire and continues to serve youth of all genders nationwide, carrying forward over a century of emphasis on confidence building, connection to nature, and social responsibility. What is today? Transit Driver Appreciation Day is an annual observance that recognizes the dedication and public service of transit drivers and operators who move communities every day. The day highlights the essential role played by individuals who operate buses, trains, subways, trolleys, and other forms of public transportation, often under demanding conditions to ensure that passengers arrive safely and on time. It serves as a reminder that reliable public transit depends not only on infrastructure and vehicles, but also on the skill, patience, and professionalism of the people behind the controls. The observance takes place every year on March 18th in the United States, Canada, and many other parts of the world. Transit agencies, labor organizations, and riders use the day to formally acknowledge transit drivers through messages of appreciation, recognition programs, and public outreach. Although the celebration lasts only one day, many agencies extend activities throughout the week or month to emphasize the value of transit workers year-round. March 18th was chosen for its historical significance. On that date, in 1662, the first organized public transit system began operating in Paris, with the launch of a fixed-route horse-drawn coach service associated with Blaise Pascal. This early system marked the beginning of scheduled, fare-based public transportation, establishing principles that still guide modern transit systems. The anniversary of this milestone is now used to honor today's drivers, whose work continues that legacy centuries later. What is today? The National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence is an annual awareness initiative focused on uniting school communities in a stand against bullying, harassment, and violence. It provides a dedicated opportunity for students, educators, families, and communities to reinforce expectations around respectful behavior and to promote safe, inclusive learning environments. The day emphasizes that preventing bullying and violence is a shared responsibility that extends beyond schools into the broader community. The day is observed each year on the third Friday in March. In Australia, where the initiative originated, thousands of schools participate annually by registering through national education platforms and engaging in coordinated activities. These activities are designed to raise awareness, encourage help-seeking, and support positive social relationships both in classrooms and online. The consistent timing each year allows schools to plan meaningful, age-appropriate learning experiences that align with well-being programs already in place. The National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence was established in 2011 as Australia's key anti-bullying campaign for schools. It was developed by Australian education authorities and delivered through the Bullying No Way initiative to provide a unified, evidence-based approach to bullying prevention. Since its launch, participation has grown steadily, with thousands of schools across the country taking part each year. Over time, the focus has expanded to address cyberbullying and digital safety in response to changes in how young people communicate and interact. What is today? International Astrology Day is an annual observance that marks the beginning of the astrological year. It is celebrated by astrologers and astrology enthusiasts as a time of renewal, reflection, and fresh beginnings, aligning symbolic meaning with the rhythms of nature and the cosmos. The day emphasizes astrology's long historical role in helping people understand cycles of time, personality, and change. Astrology Day is observed on or around March 20th or March 21st, depending on when the March equinox occurs each year. The equinox is the moment when day and night are nearly equal in length, and astrologically it represents the sun's entry into Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. This transition is viewed as the start of the tropical zodiac and the symbolic new year in Western astrology. The modern observance of Astrology Day was first established in 1993 by the Association for Astrological Networking. The goal was to increase public awareness of astrology, encourage professional collaboration, and highlight astrology's historical and cultural significance beyond daily horoscope columns. While the holiday itself is relatively recent, it draws on traditions thousands of years old, rooted in ancient civilizations such as Babylon, Egypt, Greece, and India, where celestial movements were closely tied to calendars, agriculture, and philosophy. Astrology Day is considered meaningful because it connects human experience to larger natural cycles cards. By aligning the astrological year with the equinox, the observance reinforces themes of balance, renewal, and initiation. For many practitioners, it is a time to cast annual charts, set intentions, review personal birth charts, and reflect on the coming year. Others simply use the day as an opportunity to learn more about astrology and its role across different cultures and historical periods. What is today? Credit Card Reduction Day is an annual observance focused on encouraging individuals to take practical steps towards lowering their credit card debt. The day highlights the financial strain caused by high interest, revolving balances, and serves as a reminder that even small, consistent actions can lead to long-term improvements in financial health. Its purpose is not to eliminate credit cards altogether, but to promote responsible use and reduce dependency on costly debt. Credit Card Reduction Day is observed each year on March 21st. The date is intentionally positioned early in the year, providing an opportunity for people to reassess their spending habits, review balances, and recommit to healthier financial goals after the momentum of the new year has begun. Financial institutions, educators, and personal finance advocates often use this day to share guidance on budgeting, repayment strategies, and debt awareness. The observance was created in 2016 by the Holiday Insights organization in response to the growing impact of consumer credit card debt in the United States. As credit cards became increasingly central to everyday spending, many consumers found themselves stuck in long-term repayment cycles driven by compound interest. Credit Card Reduction Day was designed to offer a clear annual milestone for individuals to stop adding new charges and begin or accelerate a debt reduction plan. Credit Card Reduction Day is important because high interest rates often cause borrowers to repay far more than the original amount spent, delaying major life goals such as homeownership, saving, or retirement planning. Reducing outstanding balances can also improve credit scores by lowering credit utilization while easing monthly financial stress. Ultimately, the day promotes financial awareness, accountability, and long-term stability by shifting focus from minimum payments to meaningful progress toward becoming debt-free. What 'tis this day? Talk Like William Shakespeare Day is a lighthearted literary observance that invites people to celebrate the enduring influence of William Shakespeare by speaking and writing in a playful imitation of his distinctive early modern English style. The day is observed each year on April 23rd, a day traditionally recognized as both William Shakespeare's birth of 1564 and death in 1616. Choosing this date ties the celebration directly to the life and legacy of the Bard of Avon. Talk Like William Shakespeare Day was established in 2009 by the Chicago Shakespeare Theater, inspired partly by the success of Talk Like a Pirate Day. The theater wanted a fun, accessible way to get people, especially students and casual readers, engaged with Shakespeare's language. The idea quickly gained traction, and in 2011, Illinois Governor Pat Quinn officially proclaimed April 23rd as Talk Like Shakespeare Day, helping cement its place as an annual observance. What is today? National Tamale Day is a U.S. food holiday dedicated to celebrating tamales, one of the oldest and most culturally significant dishes in the Americas. National Tamale Day is observed every year on March 23rd. A tamale is a traditional Mesoamerican dish made from masa that is filled with ingredients such as meat, cheese, vegetables, beans, or sweet fillings, then wrapped in corn husks or banana leaves and steamed. Tamales can be savory or sweet and vary widely by region and tradition. Tamales date back 8,000 to 5,000 BCE, long before modern kitchens existed. Indigenous civilizations, including the Aztecs, Maya, and Olmecs, developed tamales as portable, nourishing foods for travelers, hunters, and warriors. They were also used in religious ceremonies and offerings to gods. Early tamales were cooked in hot ashes or underground pits before steaming became common. Through colonization and migration, tamales spread through Mexico, Central America, South America, and eventually the United States, where they became deeply embedded in regional and family traditions. Their adaptability, different wrappers, fillings, and sauces allowed them to evolve while preserving cultural identity. National Tamale Day itself is quite recent. It was founded in 2015 by Richard Lambert, a Santa Barbara, California restaurateur and owner of Tamales to Go. Lambert noticed that many foods had dedicated national days, but tamales did not. He successfully petitioned to have one added to Chase's calendar of events and chose March 23rd because it avoided competition with major food holidays and helped promote tamales outside their usual winter holiday season. What is today? Flatmates Day is an appreciation day dedicated to the people we share our living spaces with, whether they are roommates in an apartment, housemates in a shared home, or dorm mates at school. The day focuses on recognizing the daily support, cooperation, and companionship that comes with shared living. While flatmates are often associated with splitting rent and utilities, the observance highlights that they frequently become trusted friends, sources of emotional support, and an important part of everyday life. Flatmates Day is observed every year on March 24th. The holiday was established in 2016 as a gesture of gratitude towards a roommate and gained visibility through online lifestyle calendars and social sharing. Its emergence reflects modern housing trends, particularly rising living costs, increased urbanization, and delayed ownership, all of which have made shared housing far more common among students, young professionals, and even older adults. What is today? Maryland Day is an annual state holiday that commemorates the founding of the colony of Maryland and honors the state's early history, heritage, and role in the development of religious freedom in North America. It is a legally recognized holiday in the state of Maryland. Maryland Day marks the anniversary of March 25th of 1634, when English settlers arrived aboard the ships the Ark and the Dove and landed at St. Clement's Island in the Potomac River. This event is considered the official founding of the Maryland colony. The settlers, led by Leonard Culver, were establishing a colony authorized by a charter granted to Cecil Culver, who was the second Baron Baltimore, a noble title granted by King Charles I of England. The colony was intended, in part, as a place of greater religious tolerance during a period of significant religious conflict in Europe. The date March 25th also holds religious significance, as it coincides with the Christian feast of the Annunciation. Upon arriving safely, the colonists held a day of Thanksgiving, which helped shape the symbolic meaning of Maryland Day as a reflection on hope, renewal, and faith. After landing at St. Clement's Island, the settlers continued downriver and later established their first permanent settlement at St. Mary's City, which became Maryland's first capital. Although the founding event occurred in the 17th century, Maryland Day did not become an official observance until much later. Formal recognition began in 1903, when the Maryland State Board of Education designated March 25th as a day for teaching Maryland history in public schools. This effort aimed to promote awareness of local history and civic identity among students. In 1916, the Maryland General Assembly officially designated Maryland Day as a legal state holiday. What is today? Wear a Hat Day is commonly known as a fun, awareness, and fundraising event that encourages people to wear a hat to support a cause or to celebrate headwear. While the name is used in several contexts, it most often refers to an organized campaign linked to health awareness. Most widely, Wear a Hat Day is associated with a UK-based fundraising initiative for brain tumor research. In this version, wearing a hat symbolizes protecting the brain and helps start conversations about brain health. Schools, workplaces, and community groups frequently participate by wearing hats and donating to support research. The charity-focused Wear a Hat Day is typically held on the last Friday of March each year. People celebrate Wear a Hat Day by wearing any type of hat, such as a fun hat, a themed hat, or a handmade one. Many groups organize competitions, photo sharing, or small donation drives. Beyond the fun, the day helps raise awareness and encourages discussion about important health issues, particularly those affecting the brain. What is today? Nano Days. It's a nationwide science outreach event that celebrates nanoscale science, engineering, and technology through hands-on activities and public engagement. It is organized by the Nanoscale Informal Science Education Network, commonly known as the NICE Network, which works with museums, universities, and science centers to make complex science ideas accessible to the public. Nano Days typically takes place each year from the last weekend in March through the first weekend in April. Hundreds of organizations across the United States host programs that invite families, students, and community members to explore science at the nanoscale, which involves materials and phenomena that are too small to see with the naked eye. The goal of Nano Days is to build public understanding of nanotechnology and its impact on everyday life. Activities often focus on topics such as how nanomaterials behave differently from large materials, how nanotechnology is used in medicines, electronics, and environmental science, and how emerging technologies can affect society. These experiences are designed to spark curiosity and encourage discussion rather than require advanced science knowledge. Nano Days serves as a way to connect the public with cutting-edge science by showing how very small things can have a very big impact. By combining education, creativity, and community involvement, the event helps people better understand the science shaping future technologies and encourage interest.
Ooh, you know what this is. Sure, it's a cool and creamy Eskimo pie ice cream bar, covered with our own special rich dark chocolate. And you know what kids have been doing for over 65 years? Right, eating that great tasting chocolate first. There's an Eskimo pie size and shape to satisfy everyone. Old-fashioned, Eskimo pie on a stick, and the original Eskimo pie. Bet you have your own way to eat that great chocolate. Right, Laura?
What is today? Eat an Eskimo Pie Day is a food-themed observance celebrated each year on March 28th. The day honors the invention of one of America's most iconic frozen treats, the chocolate-covered ice cream bar. It encourages people to enjoy a classic dessert while reflecting on an important moment in food history. The holiday traces its origins to the early 1920s when Christian Kent Nelson, a candy store owner in Ottawa, Iowa, created the first chocolate-coated ice cream bar. The idea came after he saw a child struggle to choose between buying a chocolate bar or an ice cream treat. By combining the two, Nelson created what was initially called the ice cream bar, later renamed the Eskimo Pie after partnering with the chocolate maker Russell C. Stover. The product was patented on January 24th of 1922 and quickly became a nationwide success. Eat an Eskimo Pie Day highlights a major innovation in the frozen dessert industry. Before this invention, ice cream was mostly served in bowls and eaten indoors. The chocolate coating allowed ice cream to be sold and enjoyed in more settings, helping pave the way for today's wide range of handheld frozen treats. This development changed consumer habits and shaped modern snack culture. In recent years, the product itself has undergone the name change to Eddie's Pie in response to cultural sensitivity concerns. While many calendars still use the traditional name when referring to the holiday, the day is a chance to share memories, support local ice cream shops, and appreciate how a simple idea became a lasting part of American food culture. What is today? National Vietnam War Veteran Day is observed each year on March 29th in the United States. It is a national day of remembrance dedicated to honoring the millions of Americans who served in the U.S. military during the Vietnam War era. The observance recognizes their sacrifice, courage, and service, many of which went unacknowledged when veterans first returned home. The date of March 29th was chosen because of its historical significance. On March 29th of 1973, the last U.S. combat troops officially withdrew from Vietnam, and the final American prisoners of war held in North Vietnam were released and returned home. This moment marked the end of the direct U.S. military involvement in the conflict and represents a meaningful point of closure for many veterans. Although Vietnam veterans began returning home in the 1970s, many faced public hostility, indifference, and silence rather than recognition. For decades, there was no national observance, especially dedicated to them. In 2012, President Barack Obama formally proclaimed March 29th as Vietnam Veterans Day, calling on Americans to honor those who served during the war's 50th anniversary period. National Vietnam War Veterans Day became an official permanent observance in 2017 when President Donald Trump signed the Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act into law. This legislation formally designated March 29th as National Vietnam War Veterans Day and added it to the list of days when the U.S. flag should be prominently displayed, ensuring ongoing national recognition. Today, National Vietnam War Veterans Day serves as both a tribute and a reminder. Communities, veterans organizations, and government agencies mark the day with ceremonies, wreath layings, educational programs, and moments of reflection. Above all, the observance offers the long overdue message many Vietnam veterans never heard upon returning home: their service is honored, remembered, and deeply appreciated. What is today Torrents Day is observed each year on March 30th. It is a digital culture observance that recognizes the BitTorrent protocol and the peer-to-peer communities that make large-scale file sharing possible on the internet. Rather than focusing on the controversy, the day highlights the technical innovation behind decentralized file distribution and the cooperative spirit that allows users to share data efficiently without relying on a central server. The origins of Torrents Day are generally traced to 2011 and are widely credited to an administrator known as Mr. Pink from the once popular torrent index site Kick-Ass Torrents. The goal was to shift attention away from legal debates and toward the underlying technology, which was created in 2001 by programmer Bram Cohen. BitTorrent solved a major problem of early internet distribution by replacing overloaded centralized servers with a swarm model, where each downloader also uploads pieces of files to others. Torrent Day is considered important because it celebrates one of the most efficient methods of data distribution in internet history. By spreading bandwidth across thousands of users, the BitTorrent protocol allows massive files to be shared at minimal cost. This has made it especially valuable for legitimate uses such as distributing open source software, sharing public domain archives, delivering large research datasets, and helping independent creators and organizations reach global audiences without expensive infrastructure. The day also emphasizes the social norms of torrenting, particularly the concept of seeding. In a torrent swarm, the system only works when users continue to upload after completing their downloads. Torrents Day serves as a reminder of this informal social contract, encouraging responsible participation, respect for legal boundaries, and continued sharing so valuable or rare files do not disappear from the internet over time. Overall, the observance recognizes torrents not as a type of content, but as a tool, one that has played a lasting role in building a more decentralized and collaborative internet. What is today National Tater Day is observed each year on March 31st in the United States. The day celebrates the potato, often called a tater, and recognizes its importance as one of the most widely consumed and versatile foods in the world. From baked and mashed to fried and roasted, the potato has become a staple ingredient in countless cuisines and households. The origins of National Tater Day can be traced way back in 1843 in Benton, Kentucky, making it one of the oldest continuous trade days in the country. Early celebrations focused on the sweet potato, which was a major regional crop. Farmers would gather in the town square to trade slips, the sprouts used to grow new sweet potato plants, in preparation for the spring planting season. Over time, the event expanded into a larger community gathering that included trading livestock, tools, and other goods. As the tradition grew, the celebration broadened beyond sweet potatoes to include all types of potatoes. The date gradually shifted to March 31st, and the observance gained recognition beyond Kentucky as National Tater Day. While the holiday is now celebrated nationwide, Benton, Kentucky continues to host a multi-day festival featuring parades, carnival rides, and long-standing traditions that reflect the event's agricultural roots. National Tater Day is significant because it highlights the potato's historical role in food security. Potatoes have long been valued for their ability to grow in diverse climates, produce high yields, and provide essential nutrients. Their introduction to Europe in the 17th and 18th centuries helped reduce famine, as potatoes produced more food per acre than many grain crops and stored well. Today there are more than 4,000 varieties of potatoes grown worldwide. Whether served simply or as part of a complex dish, the potato remains a symbol of comfort, practicality, and culinary creativity, making National Tater Day a fitting tribute to one of the world's most reliable foods.